It is Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
And I'm Morgan Levine.
What a pleasure to talk with Dr. Trudy Simmons. Usually we have Dr. Simmons come into the studio there in Buckhead, and she makes us do calisthenics and yoga.
Run Ironman
and Zumba and all that. But thank God we're isolated in our own studios, and she can't get near us. So
That's right. My husband's been working out a lot these days. He can't hear anybody else but him.
He's ready for you to go back to work, isn't he?
He is, yes.
Dr. Trudy Simmons, she is also the host of The Christian View, and Dan and I had an opportunity to be on the show. We had a great time.
That was fun.
Doc, yes, it was. Doc, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm learning to adjust to my temporary new normal of homeschooling and homeschooling.
All right. Now, if you're watching Zoom, you'll see in the background all those Iron Man medals. Are those your husband's, Brian's, or yours?
Those are mine. Yes.
Oh.
Those are mine. There's 13 of them.
Wow.
13, and we're supposed to do Hawaii this year, but it might be canceled. So we're just waiting to hear what will transpire in these next couple of months.
Yeah, we were talking before we got started here, and I was asking about your medals back there, and you were saying, I mean, not only Ironman, but I'm sure lots of races, lots of 5Ks, 10Ks, and marathons are having to get postponed or just completely canceled. How's that affecting you? Because you're a person who likes to be out and doing things.
You know what? I'm still out and doing things. The only thing I cannot do right now is swim. I could go find a lake that's really isolated and swim in a lake, but I'm still able to, thank goodness, get on my bike and bike because there's no one out, and so I can bike and I can run. So it's still good. I'm having to get up a lot earlier to get most of my stuff done before the 4-year-old Albie gets up and starts, wanting to play and do homeschooling and things like that. I'm finding that if I don't entertain her more, she's drawing all over my walls. She took my blue nail polish and painted my white walls.
Oh.
And then she was missing her friend, so she took orange crayon and drew all over the other walls. So,
oh, no.
She's a very hyper child, so we're learning.
Wow.
Dr. Trudy Simmons on Zoom with us and on the radio. Doc, we wanted to ask you a couple of things. Of course, where we all are right now in the pandemic, and also dealing with that, which is it's a catastrophe in so many ways.
Yes.
A lot of folks are afraid or worried, some sick, and some, of course, family members have passed on. We do want to catch up with you as far as the Christian View as well, what you guys are doing. But what is the word now? What are you telling folks when they contact you, when they connect with you, when they ask you, hey, what's going on here? What should I do? And where are we going in this whole thing?
I was talking to someone just this morning, and he's just like, I'm so fearful, I'm paralyzed. And I think a lot of people are just paralyzed in fear, and they really don't know where to turn and what to do. And so, my advice to him and to some others are, we've got to stay connected to the Word, and we've got to stay connected to people. So instead of sending a short text, pick up the phone and call, because a voice can encourage so much more than a text. Just hearing someone on the other line saying, you know what, in the midst of my busyness, I'm calling you because I love you and I want to make sure you're okay, and offer words of encouragement that way versus sending a short text. I think right now, communication is so important. And, we all know that the devil is the author of fear, and it doesn't come from God. And so my other thing of encouragement is put on praise music and fill your home with praise instead of the news of worry and, how many people have passed on today, because hopefully they've passed on into the kingdom, right? And that's what we're praying for, that those who don't know Jesus through this time will come to know him, and that fear of the unknown of death will kind of pass on.
Talking with Dr. Trudy Simmons now. How are you guys able to keep filming the Christian View? How are you guys handling this, not being able to be out and be together like this?
I know for people who are single ones, it's kind of hard staying at home, but we had to cancel our last taping, which was in March, because that's when everything started, the crisis started happening. So we stopped that one, but we did something last night. We started a TBC Girl Talk on Zoom, which we're going to air this week. So I have a couple of the the lady co-hosts come on with me, and we done some girl talk and just what's going on in our homes. And then next Sunday, I'm going to bring the men on, and we're going to do the Christian View Zoom. So we're trying to stay on top of things and trying to get the encouragement out, that God is still faithful. He still sits on his throne. And this did not catch God by surprise, even though it caught most of us by surprise.
Right.
Dr. Trudy Simmons, she's on Zoom and on the radio. And Doc, may I suggest that you run the best of Rick and Dan on the...
Yes, you are scheduled to run. So you're going to run in 2 weeks. Well, when you guys were on, a call to ministry. So we are running you guys.
Good.
Yes, I'll let you know.
Awesome.
I'm sure that ratings skyrocketed when Dan and I were on the Christian View.
You guys were amazing. So
Rick gets stopped on the street all the time now, people asking for his autograph and if they can get a picture with his beard. So
the only thing
is the beard.
You're so famous. I need to have you back on. So we'll have you back on once the virus kind of calms down a little bit.
That would be great.
The only thing is they call me Isaac Hernandez. That's the only problem. Dr. Trudy Simmons here. She, of course, a doctor and also the host of the host, not the coast. Dan's on the coast.
I'm on the coast, yeah.
Of the Christian View. Morgan, you have a question?
I was just going to ask, what's it like between all of the hosts of the Christian? You guys been able to stay connected and keep each other encouraged during this time?
We have. So I normally send out an email or a text message once a week, and then finding out how everyone's doing and what kind of prayer requests they have. And then I normally talk to several of them throughout the week. And then we just started the Zoom calls last night, which went really, really well. A lot of the hosts and co-hosts are still working, so they're still pretty busy throughout the day. So we try to, connect at night, but we're staying connected. Yes.
Awesome.
Dr. Trudy Simmons, she, of course, the host of The View. When all is said and done, Doc, when we're on the other side of this, a lot of things will be, I guess, back to normal, but a lot of things won't. Our mindsets are just different things. We'll go, wow, we lived through that. Will we have issues later on, and how will we deal with those issues?
I think we're going to have issues because I don't think things are going to go back to normal. And I hope that they don't. I hope that this time of reset, I think it's a reset. God's calling us home. It's no coincidence that all the churches are shut down and we're home with our families and we're having to seek the Lord for ourselves. So I think we'll have issues of, I think for a while people will be a little scared to go back out into, big crowds and big parties, but I think we'll eventually get there. But I do think that while we're where we are, we need to focus on the here and now and what is God wanting to do. Have y'all seen the movie The Chosen?
No.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. And his last words of the last episode, Jesus said, "This is not a kingdom matter, this is a heart matter." And so I really think that what's going on in our community, in our world, is a heart matter. And that's what God wants to do, is he really wants to work in our hearts. So I do think it's going to be different when we get out of isolation. And I hope that we're all different and we're all stronger in Jesus Christ.
What's next for you after all is said and done, Doc? What are you going to do? What's on your plan? Have you adjusted your schedules and et cetera?
Our schedule is completely different because I am homeschooling a 14-year-old and a 4-year-old, and then my husband's home every day. So, maybe we'll take a vacation. Maybe I'll go do another Ironman. I don't know, but I'm going to have to get out and do something. My son's like, let's just go hang out at the lake. So if anything, it's brought us more together. So hopefully when all is said and done, our family will be so much closer that that'll carry on into every area of our life. But I don't really have anything planned per se, because I just don't know what God has next. So just kind of taking one day at a time and learning as I go.
You'll have a painting project to do, painting over the art that your daughter made, right?
Yes, that I'll have, right. And
or you can
probably, I'll probably have to get my roots colored. My roots will need to be colored by then.
Me too.
So.
Look at this.
And there's always beach volleyball over at Dan's place.
That's right.
You've run out of options. It is Dr. Trudy Simmons, and you can go to, trudysimmons.net to find out more, follow her, and of course, watch her and the crew on the Christian View. Hey, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
And I'm Morgan Levine.
This is Faith Talk Live. Stay there.